This is an excerpt from the Edmond Rostand play, Cyrano de Bergerac. This is a particularly fun monologue to read, and if it seems at all familiar to you, you may have heard something similar in the Steve Martin movie Roxanne, in which it was made even more popular, I suppose, than it already is. The context for you is that someone has just insulted an individual named Cyrano by saying that he has a very big nose. Unimpressed, Cyrano proceeds to regale the individual with a series of far wittier statements he might have used instead. So, enjoy. "I'm afraid your speech was a little short, young man. You could have said, all sorts of things, varying your tone to fit your words. Let me give you a few examples. In an aggressive tone. If I had a nose like that, I'd have it amputated. Friendly. The end of it must get wet when you drink from a cup. Why don't you use a tankard? Descriptive. It's a rock, a peak, a cape, no more than a cape, a peninsula. Curious. What do you use that long container for? Do you keep your pens and scissors in it? Gracious. Oh, what a kind man you are! You love the little birds so much that you've given them a perch to roost upon. Truculent. When you light your pipe and the smoke comes out your nose, the neighbors must think a chimney has caught fire. Solicitous. Be careful when you walk. With all that weight on your head, you could easily lose your balance and fall. Thoughtful. You ought to put an awning over it, to keep its color from fading in the sun. Pedantic. Sir, only the animal that Aristophanes calls the hippocampelophantocamelos could have had so much flesh and bone below its forehead. Cavalier. A hook to hang your hat upon. Emphatic. No wind but the mighty Arctic blast majestic nose could ever give you a cold from one end to the other. Dramatic. When it bleeds, it must be like the Red Sea. Admiring. What a sign for a perfume shop. Lyrical. Is that a conch? And are you Triton risen from the sea? Naive. Is that monument open to the public? Respectful. One look at your face, sir, is enough to tell me that you are indeed a man of substance. Rustic. That don't look like no nose to me. It's either a big cucumber or a little watermelon. Military. The enemy is charging! Aim your cannon! Practical. A nose like that has one advantage. It keeps your feet dry in the rain. There, now you have an inkling of what you might have said to me if you were witty and a man of letters. Unfortunately, you're totally witless and a man of very few letters. Only the 4 that spell the word fool. But even if you had the intelligence to invent remarks like those I've given you as examples, you would have not been able to entertain me with them. You would have spoken no more than half the first syllable of the first word, because such jesting is a privilege that I grant only to myself.